The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Yuma, Arizona, on your new Pierce Fire apparatus, job number 37789. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation. Starting first, on the front bumper face, you'll find dual air horns on the passenger and driver side. Just inside of that location, you'll find your electronic siren and PA speaker. Moving up onto the top of the bumper extension, on the outside edge, you'll find hose storage location. D-handle gains access to the space. Located in the center, hose storage location with a discharge. Moving to the driver's side, top mount, mechanical siren. Moving to the face of the cab, on the outer edge, you'll find a marker turn indicator light. Just inside that location are your headlights. Low beam is on the inside. Directly above that, forward-facing emergency warning light. There are also grab handles for gaining access for cleaning the windshield area. As we move to the A pillar, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find your identification clearance lights. There are 5 of those located across the front brow. Located in the center, forward-facing floodlight. Moving up onto the top of the roof of the apparatus, you'll find emergency warning lights. There are 2 on the passenger and driver side. Also located directly over the driver is your opticom. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of those items we just talked about a little bit closer. First, with your front bumper extension. Dry deck material inside the location. As we move to the center, it's where you'll find the front discharge. It is foam capable, storage location, and discharge. As we move to the side of the cab at the very top section, the white cover is going to be your air conditioner, shoreline power. Just below that is your shoreline power. Moving now to a full view of the apparatus, we'll move on into the cab section next, starting first at the base with the wheel, where you'll find in the center a visual sight gauge indicator, Goodyear tire, and Alcoa wheel. Moving to the very front, this is the location of the discharge drain, side-facing emergency warning light, and then also the location for your shoreline power. As we move up onto the body area, first, turn indicator and marker light located on the front portion of the cab. They're easily accessible with a gloved hand. These are your door lock and latch. They are keyed. Right next to it is a grab handle for maintaining 3 points of contact when getting into the vehicle. As we move down to the very bottom section under the cab area rear, it's where you'll find the blue cap. This is the fill location for your DEF. Just above that, lower zone emergency warning light. And then as we move toward the very top and rear of the cab, it's where you'll find accessible D-handle for compartment storage. General view here of the pump panel area. We'll move on and come back to this in just a few moments in great detail. Also, we do have a pull-out step located here at the pump panel area. Wheel chock storage just in front of the rear axle for 2 folding wheel chocks. Stabilizer. Right next to that is where you'll find the stabilizer pad. Moving just forward of the rear axle is where you'll find your turn indicator marker light. Directly over the axle, lower zone emergency warning light. Front and rear of the axle is where you'll find SCBA storage, and then also at the very top section, side-facing emergency warning lights. Right next to those is also your side-facing scene lights. Let's go ahead and move around to the rear of the apparatus next. Starting at the base of the tailboard is where you'll find a pull-out step. Also, as we move around to the side, you'll find your brake, turn, reverse, and emergency warning light. We do have a couple additional cup switches located here for light control. Moving further up, you'll find a rear scene light and then also emergency warning light. As we move up into the very top section of the hatch compartments, this is the location for storage of your rigid suction hoses. We'll move down to the very base now, where you'll start with the aerial inlet. There is also a gauge located here, and then we'll move now up to a 2.5-inch discharge. Just as a general view here, the large black section here panel, this is going to be the control module for your aerial device. We'll cover that in greater detail. Just above that location, traffic advisor and a recessed backup camera. Let's move around to the side of the vehicle now just to identify a few items. First, your exhaust located on this side. Also, electrical cord reel is located on this side. As we move to the cab, I'm just pointing out some items that are different from the driver's side. This is the air intake for your engine, and then also on the very front section, A-pillar, you'll find a side-facing camera. Let's go ahead and move inside the cab of the driver's space. First, starting with the door panel, where we'll find a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information, grab handle, electric window control, latch, and lock. As we move to the base of the engine, you'll find this yellow placard, which we'll go over in just a few moments. Also, when plugged into Shoreline Power, you'll find your charge status center, indicating the charge of the status of your batteries. Let's move back to the yellow placard, indicating the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, and cold tire inflation, VIN number, all of the fluid capacities for each component on the vehicle, and also fluid capacity and fluid type. As we move to the floor of the apparatus, this is where you'll find the air horn and also mechanical siren. Moving up to about the left knee of the operator, it's where you'll find the master battery switch, quarter turn, and then you'll find some switches located here for regen inhibit, ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, and engine diagnostics indicator. To the right, you'll find your maintenance team attachment points for the engine, transmission, ABS diagnostic ports. Above that, you're going to find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump, and then also instructions from pump to road. Just as a reminder, for pump operations, when leaving the cab, you need pump engaged and OK to pump green indicators illuminating. As we move to the steering wheel, you'll find emergency warning light control and also air horn control at the fingertips. And then also your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system, an airbag in the steering column. To the left, you'll find your 4-way flasher start ignition switch. You'll also find a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This engage and disengage all emergency lights with one switch. Headlight switch and panel switch allow you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. To the opposite side, you'll find the OK to engage the high idle indicator and also switch. As we move to the gauge clusters, you're going to find your transmission, oil pressure, depth level, and water temp. Front and rear air, fuel, and volts. Directly in the center is the tachometer and speedometer. Diagnostic information regarding your vehicle will display above in tally lights and then also in a display screen down at the very bottom section. Let's move just to the right of the steering area, where you'll find your yellow diamond. This is your spring brake, pull to apply, and push to release. Moving just to the right, you'll find your command zone. Tremendous amount of information right here at your fingertips. This is also a display screen, function buttons at the lower portion, and touch screen in the upper portion. As we move to the right, you'll find your aerial master, aerial PTO, generator PTO, driver pull light for passenger and driver, and load manager. Engine brake settings for low, medium, and high, front wheel lock, and mirror heat. Additional caution and warning placards just below that. As we move to the right, you'll find the radio push to talk, and then also flat and convex mirror control for driver and passenger side. Moving just to the right of this location is where you'll find your Allison transmission pad, informational note to pump and drive. Also, if you need to check the transmission fluid level, if you push the plus and minus at the same time, it will display in the display screen. To exit out, push neutral. Also, generator operating instructions are located here, along with climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. Just beneath that, you're going to find window controls for the rear cab and also passenger side. Looking overhead, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the height of the vehicle, 11 feet 5 inches, length of the vehicle, 34 feet 3 inches, gross vehicle weight rating, 52,500 pounds. If you make any adjustments that may affect any of the height, length, or gross vehicle weight rating, please adjust this placard. As we move just to the right, switch panel housing the emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. When any of these switches have been activated, the light will illuminate, indicating it's been on. As we move to the right, you're going to find your high beam flash, opticom, air horn, electronic siren, and also a siren brake, which is for your mechanical siren. Moving just to the right, front flood, passenger side scene, driver's side scene, and rear scene. Let's go ahead and move overhead in the very center section area, where you're going to find the traffic advisor control and also your siren and PA speaker control. On the ceiling or roof level, you'll find do not move your apparatus when light is flashing, indicating you may have a compartment open. Also, seatbelt information: red, someone is in the seat and not belted; green, in the seat and belted. As we look to the rear, we have 4 forward-facing clean cab seats. Also, you'll find storage location directly behind the driver's seat. And as we move to the rear portion of the tire, you'll find Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel, and a sight gauge indicator. What I was pointing out at the very rear section is your DEF fill location. As we move to the rear cab area, fix the door panel, safety and warning placard information, grab handle, door lock, and window control. Overhead, push on and off white or red lens lights, your 120 volt air conditioner that operates when plugged into shoreline power. And then also we have, looking forward, some additional 12 volt outlets on the side of those compartments. To the rear of the engine tunnel, your daily checks for oil and transmission. General view of these seats. The pedestal located at the very center is where you'll find 2 lift and turn latches for gaining access into that lower section. Headsets. This is the portion just under the 2 seats in the very center. Moving now to the exterior portion of the cab, this is the fill location for your DEF tank. It's a 7.3 gallon tank. Just above that location, you have additional storage. This is the rear portion of the cab. As we move now to the body section, let's go ahead and start at the very top, where you'll find your crosslays located here. There are 3 crosslays: crosslay 1, crosslay 2, and a 2.5 inch. All of these are foam capable. I would like to point out an entanglement hazard warning placard. As we move down onto the pump panel, we'll identify a few items within this area. First, starting right to the side of the crosslays is backboard storage. Also a red push button for your air horn. As we move into the gray module, you'll find the master intake and master discharge gauges. Between the 2 of those are the test gauge ports, and these are currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. We'll move down to the left, where you'll find your switch panel for controlling the panel lights, and then also additional scene lighting. As we move to the right, this is your Husky 12 foam system control module, and then to the right of that is the foam system tank A indicator level. To the right, you'll find an audible speaker. The outer edge of that bezel does rotate, allowing you to either increase or decrease sound. Pressure throttle governor will display in this area. Along with that, you'll find your tank water level indicator. And then also just below that, you'll find your control module for the pressure throttle governor. Moving just down to the pump panel area, you'll find an entanglement warning placard. Also, you'll find your recirculating line and engine cooler. Those are both twist, not pull. Just to the right, we do have an electric valve. This controls the main pump inlet. This is an open and close function. To the right, you'll also find an indicator OK to pump. That should be something you check when you come outside after you've engaged the pump. We do have our front discharge, crosslay 1 and 2, and also the 2.5. Once again, all of those foam capable. We do have some placards here for the Husky 12 system specifications and operating instructions, along with a driver rear discharge. There are two wheel valves also located. First, we'll start with the aerial discharge. It's the upper pink valve here. As we move down, you'll find a warning placard. Only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment, and that's only after proper training. Minimum operation maintenance schedule, which we'll go over in just a few moments, and then all of our 2.5 inch and large diameter discharges. Once again, wheel valve at the very top. This is the aerial discharge, and then just below that, you'll find the passenger side large diameter discharge, and then all of our discharges here that are 2.5 inches. These are the ones located in this area. Let's move down from this location where you'll find your push to prime. This is the air primer for your pump. Minimum operations at least 1,000 RPMs. Also, warning regarding fall. When climbing onto the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Tank fill. Just below that, we have a tank to pump. Would like to point out, because we have an electric valve that controls your main inlet, if there is a valve failure, we do have an override located here. We'll move down on the pump panel now, starting first with the two 2.5 inch discharges located on the driver's side. Also a warning placard indicating pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down, you'll find the minimum operation maintenance schedule. Right next to that, you'll find the wattress placard indicating the type and pump that you have. Moving further down, large diameter discharge or inlet. This is the Pierce logo American flag eagle. Once again, that's an inlet. Also, pump drain located just below that. Moving down, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move further to the right, you'll find the pump drain, and then just below that is the manual pump shift. Moving further to the right, I've got a warning placard here indicating foam failure. Do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. This is the auxiliary foam function inlet and also strainer and drain. Lift and turn ratchet to the right get you access into this compartment where you'll find this yellow valve. The purpose of that valve is located on the instructions here under fill or operation, dependent upon the position. The instructions will guide you. Wattress placard indicating the type of pump that you have, capacity 1,250 GPM, minimum operation maintenance schedule for 150, 200, and 250 PSI. To the left is the associated GPM, and then to the right is the associated RPM while at those test pressures. While in pump, the governed speed 2050 RPMs. This is the pull out and fold outward step located at the pump panel area. You'll also find your foam pump intake drain and foam pump discharge drain just to the right of that location. As we move into the compartments, we have LED lighting and also adjustable shelves. In this compartment, we have a shoreline outlet. This means this outlet is active when plugged into shoreline power. In the very bottom, we have a pull-out tray. The release mechanism is located on the right, and it will lock in an outward position. SCBA bottle storage location with your pack, and then also single SCBA bottle storage location located here. As we move to the right, this is the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. SCBA pack storage location in front of the rear axle. Goodyear tire Alcoa wheels. Just highlighting the bottle storage location and also the fill location for your ultra low sulfur diesel. It is the green cap. As we move down to the bottom, we do have a warning regarding crush hazard injury. The movement of this device for your outrigger may cause injury. Also, danger regarding electrocution hazard. Equipment is not insulated. Moving now to the rear compartment where you'll find an adjustable shelf. As we move into the upper portion of this compartment, once again an outlet when plugged into shoreline. This will become active. And also a pull-out tray in the lower portion. Release is located on the lower right-hand side. And then you can see the remote control here for your aerial device. All compartments open now. We'll move to the rear, starting at the very top section with some close-up images. Once again, storage location, both passenger and driver side for your suction tubes. I would like to point out a few warning placards here also regarding aerial stability, and then also scene and hosebed lights. Sorry for the blurry images here. This is a warning regarding aerial stability hazard regarding short jacking or not utilizing your stabilizers. To the right, we have fall hazard, indicating always climb on and off the vehicle by facing it. This is the control module here for up and down for the left and right stabilizer. There's one on each side as prospective stabilizer location. As we move to the rear compartment, this is where you'll find your ladder power or stabilizer power. This is the diverter switch, and then also a switch to gain high idle function, and then also the aerial master override. To the right, you'll find, if an emergency situation, the electric pump, and then just below that, the pump switch. As we move to the portion of the rear door area, you'll find some additional information regarding the electrical swivel connector. That's the swivel connector between the aerial device and the actual truck. As we move down, this is the specifications for NFPA 1910. As we move to the very top, you'll find your traffic advisor, and then also recessed here is your backup camera. As we move further down onto the pump panel, I do have a warning placard here indicating entanglement hazard. That's because of both passenger and driver side supply lines coming from aloft. Let's go ahead and cover some of the items within this area. First, we have the monitor stow deployed and a green indicator. Also, nozzle position regarding fog or stream. Left and right, raise lower. This is the main power button, push to turn off and pull outward for on. Panel lights, spotlights, upper boom lights, and an OK to engage and high idle indicator and switch. Hydraulic filter is plugged indicator, and then also hydraulic system pressure. In the very center, we have a digital readout regarding the flow of the device for GPM, and a reset below that. To the right, you'll find PSI pressure, and then just to the right, you have a green indicator regarding rung alignment. Moving further down is where you'll find your control modules for the aerial device. First, extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. At the base of the control module here for your aerial device, this is where you're going to find your aerial shutoff. Also a warning placard here indicating pressure hazard. Moving further down, we have an aerial discharge gauge, and then also the aerial inlet. Down at the very bottom, you'll find the aerial drain. As we move just to the right of that, you'll find the refill location for your hydraulic system. This is for the aerial device. We also have a intercom system, push to talk with volume control. And then also you'll find the placard here regarding the sky boom as far as the aerial load chart. Back up to the upper right hand side, this is where your storage location is for your drafting tube, ground ladders, folding ladder, pike pole. We have a 24-foot 2-section, 14-foot roof, and a 10-foot folding attic. Also, some additional warning placards on this side regarding fall hazard. Never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. Right side stabilizer, up or down indicator. And also warning aerial stability. And then to the right, you have a danger electrocution hazard. Once again, the equipment is not insulated. Moving further down, starting at the top, we have the brake, turn, reverse, and emergency warning lights. And then also we have a warning here regarding direct pull on the tow locations in the very rear. Pull out step located here at the base of the running board. As we move around to the passenger side, you'll find adjustable shelves, LED lighting, and then also shoreline power. Moving now to the passenger side, we'll find a few warning placards here. We'd like to point out once again that the device is not insulated. As we move down, we have an additional warning placard here regarding the movement or crush injury because of the stabilizer. SCBA bottle storage. Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel. Moving now into the compartment where you'll find your SCBA storage location. As we move now to the midsection, inside this compartment here is where we'll find at the very top section, this is the location for your battery charger. When plugged into Shoreline Power, this will maintain batteries. Also, the G1 for your generator is located here for the control module and also breaker box. Electrical cord reel at the very top section. Moving just to the right of that location is your crosslays, and then also you'll find the backboard storage location. Let's move down onto the pump panel. We do have some access doors here and also a water strainer. And as we move down onto the pump panel itself, we have the 2.5-inch discharge. Moving just to the right, we got a warning placard here regarding pressure hazard. Also a Pierce American Flag Eagle. This is the passenger side inlet. Large diameter discharge is the green, and then moving forward to that location, a second 2.5-inch discharge in the front section of this area. Moving up from this location is the crosslay 1 and 2, and also the 2.5-inch crosslay, also foam capable, in addition with a warning here regarding entanglement hazard. Because those lines from aloft, there's the possibility of entanglement. The cab lift is also located here. There are instructions to raise and also lower. We do have some caution and danger because of that movement of the device, and also the electrical cord reel rewind. At the very bottom, all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. In the side step area, we have additional hose storage location. This is in the running board. Through compartment from passenger to driver's side. Moving now into the cab area at the very base of the cab, this is additional storage. Moving forward to this location into the space of the rear cab, a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information, grab handle, electric window, door lock, and latch. General view inside to the cab space. At the very top section is where you'll find your air conditioning unit and then also truck air. Push on and off red and white lens lights. Access to the rear of the engine. As we move to the right side, you'll find additional storage here for the officer position, and then also the air inlet for your engine. As we move down to the wheel, you'll find Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel, visual sight gauge into the very center of the axle. As we move now into the front section of the cab officer space, a fixed to door panel, safety and warning placard information, which we've previously discussed. As we move into the cab, this vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system, an airbag, which is located here. Be cautious when mounting or utilization of any equipment within this area due to the deployment of the airbag. Also to the right, you'll find fill location for your windshield wiper fluid, and then just above that, below the grab handle, is where you'll find a glove box. General view here to the left, we do have some additional switching located here, first with the air horn, siren brake, and opticom, and radio push to talk. Also the vehicle data recording unit. To the right, we have a speedometer digital readout on the right-hand side. Moving now to some of the switch panels, moving from the speedometer toward the center of the apparatus, you'll find a front flood, passenger side scene, driver scene, and rear scene. Also, you'll find your intercom system control module located here. General view with all compartments open. As we move now to the aerial device of the Skyboom, this is the intercom system speaker. Also, as we move downward, you'll find nozzle control switches located here for the operator on the tip. Deploy stow, stream fog, right, left, and raise lower. Intercom system, volume control, it is passive. Each side of the right and left side of the vehicle will house the suction hoses. Water tank top fill location and foam tank is right next to that. Would like to point out a warning placard indicating do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. As we move to the passenger side front hatch compartment, this is the location for your air compressor for maintaining brake pressure. As we move into the dunnage area, you'll find your electrical cord reel, also the hydraulic oil fill for your Husky 12 foam system. Generator and also generator reservoir fill location. Moving now to the ladder. As we move toward the cab section, this is on the front section of the cab. This is a non-walking surface and it is slippery. As we move through the next images, this is of the chassis and engine area. First, starting underneath at the front section, these are the tow hooks for towing the vehicle. As we move to the steering area, first I'd like to point out on the frame rail on the driver's side is where you'll find a safety bar, which is put into place when the cab is fully tilted. That safety bar is located here. It will rotate up into position once it's been stowed. Do not lower the cab onto the safety bar. Maintain equal pressure on both left and right cylinders. Moving now, you'll find the top fill location for your radiator. Also throughout the engine area, you'll find additional checks. This is your power steering fluid reservoir and also location for doing a check. And then also oil and transmission checks are located here. At the base of the battery box is where you'll find the negative and positive jumper studs. We'll continue to show the chassis lower section all the way around to the rear section of the vehicle and then back up to the passenger side. There'll be no additional audio at this point. This will conclude the additional images. Congratulations, Yuma Fire Department, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 37789. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.